Hello, and welcome back to another episode of In the Pink podcast with me, April Federico. And it's still same old me, same grind, but we don't feel we're wasting time. If you can guess what Hannah Montana song that came from, let me know. Let me know in the comments. But I just wanted to say how freaking grateful I am for each and every one of you who's been listening to my podcast. In the Pink podcast has been named a 2025 Rising Star, a 2025 binged show, my God, and a 2025 most shared show. Wow. And the top countries it's been streamed in include the United States, Mexico, and Sweden. So I see y'all over there. My episode on tapas and yoga and igniting your inner fire was the top episode. And my fans' top artist was Taylor Swift. And my fans' top audiobook was Heartbreaker by Mike Campbell. So, yeah, you guys have really good taste. And I can see that a lot of you like conspiracy theories based on the shows that you guys like to listen to as well. And hopefully in 2026, my show actually becomes a part of your most listened to, your top 5 list of podcasts. And yeah, I mean, I am actually really sorry that I haven't been able to record a podcast in quite some time, probably since I became a year sober in September. And for those of you who don't know, I am an elementary school K through 2 special education teacher. And this is where the story kind of begins. So it was a Monday night, and I just so happened to be on Facebook and home from school with a cold. So if you work in an elementary school or anything like that, or a school in general, you know the drill. They're freaking petri dishes. No offense to any school, but seriously. But that morning, I was having serious doubts about my profession. I saw one of my friends, another elementary educator. Hi, Kelsey. She was online, and I had to ask her the following question. Do you ever have doubts when it comes to teaching? And I had to admit everything that has been going on until she finally asked, "Do you have a relationship with God?" And as a professional tarot reader, I'll be honest, I wasn't sure if I was allowed to have a relationship with God, especially all that I thought he put me through over the summer. And I mean, for those of you who don't know, my brother had an accidental overdose over the summer, and he's still alive and well, thank God. And thank you, Saint Maximilian Kolbe. He's the patron saint for addiction. And without revealing too much, I read that sentence out loud, and I realized God would not want me to suffer, or anyone for that matter to suffer. And I had to ask, I'm not sure, because I'm a tarot reader, would he let me? Like he, capital H. And she replied gently, "Of course he would. He's already there. You just have to let him in." And something in me cracked open right then. Not in a bad way, not in like a Humpty Dumpty kind of a way, but in a real way. It felt like the wall I had been building between my faith, my intuition, and my work finally came tumbling down. Not so much like a tower moment, but if you don't know, the tower is a card in tarot, and it basically means the crumbling of something that wasn't meant to be, or something that wasn't properly founded. Is that the right word? Yeah. But for so long, I had thought I had to choose either be the intuitive who reads tarot and talks about energy, or be the teacher who prays before work and believes in divine timing. But maybe, just maybe, they weren't meant to be separate. And that night, as I lay in bed with tissues scattered around me and my cat curled at my feet, I prayed for the first time in a couple months. Not a fancy structured prayer, just something simple like, "God, I don't know what you want me to do, but I'm listening." In an instant, I brought a prayer book for teachers in a teacher's Bible. And that's when the peace came in. No fireworks, no lightning bolts, just quiet reassurance. I'll link the prayer book and the teacher's Bible down below in the show notes as well. And the next morning, I woke up with the same cold, but a different kind of clarity. I realized that doubt doesn't mean I'm failing. It means I'm human. And human isn't about perfection. It's about permission. Permission to believe that even in the moments when we question everything, God is still holding us together. And I went to an online service, live stream all the way from Ireland, and instantly the miracles started pouring in. And at the same time, I learned about detachment and discernment. And if you know anything about the law of attraction, detachment is something huge. And discernment, I knew nothing about. And little did I know that it would prepare me for what was to come. It was subtle at first, the lessons on detachment. I began to understand that detachment in faith isn't about not caring, it's about not clinging. It's trusting that what's meant for you will stay and what isn't will gently fall away. For so long, I tried to control every detail of my life, from my career path, my spiritual identity, even the timing of my healing. But the more I surrendered, the more I noticed God was working in the quiet. And then the miracles started to multiply. I found myself moving out of my parents' house after 29 years. I stepped fully into my calling as a teacher, but with a renewed sense of purpose and patience for my students. And I'm working towards opening my own shop in Norwood, Massachusetts, which is a dream that combined my creative spirit with my faith. And none of it happened because I forced it. It all came when I stopped grasping so tightly and just learned to trust. That's where discernment entered the picture. Detachment created the space, but discernment gave me direction. It became the quiet voice that told me what was truly aligned with my purpose and what was simply fear disguised as comfort. I realized discernment is how God whispers into our lives. It's what helps us see the difference between a distraction and a divine nudge. Through detachment, I learned to let go. Through discernment, I learned to listen. But through both, I learned to not live in anxiety over what might happen, but in gratitude for what is. Because the truth is, God never wanted me to suffer. He wanted me to surrender. And when I did, He filled my life with everything I once thought I had to chase. And put simply, I never had to control the outcome. Rather, I needed to pray, be grateful, and reflect. Because prayer grounds me. It's the daily conversation that reminds me I'm never alone. Gratitude centers me. It shifts my focus from what's missing to what's already miraculous. And reflection refines me. It helps me to see where God has been working all along, even in the moments where I felt like I couldn't go on. But as Lupe Fiasco sings, the show goes on. Alrighty, so that has been an episode of In the Pink, and my goal is to try posting every Wednesday. Yeah, I think that's kind of like my New Year's resolution right there. But be prepared for another episode next week on In the Pink podcast. And I'll see you next time. Bye.